Hi, I'm Dan Gamache. Today we're going to talk about you finding a home that has a tenant in it. Uh, the perfect example that I have for you is to go watch this movie called Pacific Heights. It's a movie from the mid 1990s. It's got a cast of Melanie Griffith and Michael Keaton. And it's an extreme measure of what can happen, but it's a perfect example of why you need to be very cautious. There is a perfect family buys a nice Victorian home in San Francisco, and they rent out one unit, the downstairs unit, to Michael Keaton, who basically stops paying rent and turns the place into a complete disaster. And it's a perfect movie for you to view and understand what can happen. There are what we call professional tenants out there, and that's exactly what they are. They know how to maneuver through the system and stay in your place for 6 months or more without paying rent. Hopefully, you can get them out without damage, but it's something that you need to be very cautious of. It doesn't happen too much, but I just have one simple recommendation for you to do when you find a home that you like that has a tenant in there. Just put the burden back on them to have the tenant taken out. Or, I'm sorry, have the tenant given their 30-day notice to move out. And that way, you don't get yourself into a situation where you have the potential nightmare. Don't listen to what the tenant says. It might seem really nice. Don't listen to what the listing agent says. Just write in your offer. We'll pay you this. We'll remove our contingencies on this date. But before we remove our contingencies, we want the tenant vacated. We want the property vacant. And that way you put the burden on them. If there's going to be any issues, then they have to deal with it, not you. Um, can you imagine that if you remove your contingencies and you schedule your move date and you got movers coming and you're assuming that the tenant's going to be out, but they're not, you could be in a very difficult situation. You could be homeless, essentially. You'd have to, I don't know what you'd have to do depending on the circumstances, but you could be in a very tight situation. So write your offer and just make the sellers move them out. And you definitely have to do that with a short sale or a foreclosure because those sellers want one thing: they want to get out, and they don't want to deal with anything else but getting out of that situation. So, okay, you want to sell a home? Make it vacant before I move forward. Um, so, I'm Dan Gamache. If you have any further questions regarding this video post, you can reach me, Dan at pleasantonneighborhoods.com or 925 918 0332. Thanks a lot.